Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hi everyone, I'm your host of Descendants and Zombies for the better part of the last 10 years, Jonathan Clarke. So proud to be here. You guys have advocated for me to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and I couldn't be more proud. I say this because I've had a lot of really nice things to say about Descendants and Zombies over the last 10 years. No matter if I was talking about the original trilogies and the stars of it, this new franchise and this new spin they put on it with Kylie Cantrell, Ruby Rose Turner, and Malia Baker having the torch passed to them, which I think they've done a fabulous job with. I think that if you would have given this opportunity to anybody, they probably would have squandered it. And I say this because Kylie Cantrell, Ruby Rose Turner, and Malia Baker showed up. They not only showed up to perform, but they showed up with a beautiful friendship that has really stood the test of time. And it got me to thinking about all the friends that I've had and had the honor of making in my lifetime. I've made a lot of friends, but no greater have been the Descendants and Zombies fans. They have been incredibly supportive to me, and they have stood in front of me as a shield, faced with all of my criticism for this YouTube channel. And I'm not just talking about this YouTube channel. I'm talking about all the YouTube videos and all the niches that I've attracted and talked about over the years. And that could have had anything to do with a video game, a movie, entertainment in general, because I've been a gossiper for all of my life, so I would write reviews for entertainment news websites, and I was up against some of the top. TMZ, Perez Hilton, and God knows I've had my issues with Perez Hilton over the years, and more recently Ryan McCartan, because I was very to the point about my issues with Ryan McCartan stemming from his relationship with Dove Cameron. And even then, over a year and a half ago, you girls stood behind me. You saw nothing wrong with what I said about Ryan McCartan, and you've been a shield for me ever since, and you're still a shield for me, and I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is stronger than ever now with over 3,000 subscribers because you're such a huge fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with that because I see so much passion in your eyes and in your hearts for your favorite Descendants characters, regardless of who you see yourself through the eyes of. It could have been Kylie Cantrell for her fierce representation of the young Queen of Hearts daughter Red, who really didn't care what anybody thought of her, and I think a lot more people don't care what anybody think of them now because of Red's portrayal. Red really came out as a person who just didn't care what anybody thought of her and was really in the face of adversity from every single moment, every single second we saw her be a part of this franchise, from the opening dance number Red, which ultimately became one of my favorite dance numbers, of course second to the Life is Sweeter When You Are performance. I don't think anybody could have performed the song Life is Sweeter When You Are more effectively than what Ruby Rose Turner did. That song was specifically written for her voice, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's just something incredibly satisfying about Ruby Rose Turner's voice being on that song. I say this because she taught us that kindness really does go a long way and much further in this world when we spread it. And that's what I wanted to do with the allocated time that I have as a podcaster, because to be honest with each and every one of you, I don't know how much time I have left. I've been podcasting for almost 30 years, and that's a really long time, ever since the age of 13 when I streamed my first show out of my parents' basement. And I didn't think I was going to go anywhere. I got lost in all the controversy surrounding the world of entertainment because I was talking about music, movies in general. So I didn't think my voice was going to be heard, and I didn't think anyone was ever going to take me seriously. But haven't we all felt that way with whatever we wanted to pursue in life? It starts with a dream, a wish that only your heart can make. Truer words have been spoken by legendary Princess Cinderella, a princess, one of my favorite princesses of all time, and one of my best girlfriend's favorite princesses of all time because of just how strong she was. She wanted more than anything to attend the ball of her dreams and fall in love with the man of her dreams, and she got the opportunity to do that after leaving behind her glass slipper. You know, I had this conversation with a girl who's a really good friend of mine about how Cinderella became her favorite princess because of the story of how her dad used to call her Cinderella all the time because all Cinderella ever wanted was to realize her dream. And I think a lot of us see ourselves through the eyes of Cinderella, which is why the portrayal of the Cinderella daughter character, Chloe Charming, in this movie really stood out to me. I say a lot of fond things about Malia Baker because I'm particularly fond of how far she has come and how she's been such an inspiration to so many young girls from all walks of life, no matter what age demographic you're talking about, because there's no specific age demographic I think Cinderella and her legendary story, her legendary tale, if you would, has applied to, because I think even people 25 years old see themselves through the eyes of Cinderella, living a Cinderella-like lifestyle and a life story that's been told hundreds of times over the years, many centuries. It's truly unbelievable how far this franchise has come and how many hearts it's touched. It's not just one specific age demographic, because there are people who were fans of Descendants at just the age of 9, example Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell, that I can show for you, that are still watching it now when they are 25 years old, because Kylie and Ruby were at a point in their life where they wanted to see something more happen for them. And whoever thought, I'm sure they never thought it, they would be a part of a franchise as legendary as what Descendants has become. Because I think these stars are really legends in the making. And I think I can get away with saying that because they really are. If Miley Cyrus can go down in history for being the youngest Disney legend in history, then these stars of the Descendants cast can do it. And for sure, Cameron Boyce, if anybody, when you're talking about someone of the original cast, will go down in history for being one of the youngest Disney legends of all time. I want to put it out there to the people who make these executive decisions that we have to get these stars of Descendants and Zombies in for the candidates for the Legends Award, because in all honesty, they do deserve it. I mean, if you can give that same award to Miley Cyrus, you can give it to the cast of Descendants because of how much of an inspiration they have been. Because I really think as much of an inspiration Miley Cyrus was, and I was the biggest Miley Cyrus fan in the world, if there was a guy who was a sweetheart, who had a crush on Miley Cyrus for everything she aspired us to be and become, it was this guy here. I was there for everything Miley Cyrus wanted to do with her life, and I still am, and I'm still as incredibly supportive of Miley Cyrus. But the question is she as revered as an entire franchise? There's an old cliche saying that goes with the business, and that's simply, nobody is bigger than the business, and nobody is bigger than the entire franchise. So is Miley bigger than the Hannah Montana franchise? I don't think so, not necessarily. And I think that this Descendants franchise ultimately outrides anything Miley ever did and will go down in history for being one of the greatest and one of the most revered. Revered, defined, is one of the greatest of all time, really a GOAT. And that's always what I've always wanted to be in my life, is go down in history for being one of the greatest who have ever done it. But I could have never done it without each and every one of you. And I never ever thought I'd be sitting behind this podcast microphone reviewing Descendants and Zombies in a way that I think it's been meant to be reviewed for a very long time, because I know what it's like to be you. Searching up Descendants and Zombies videos every night of your life, finding very negative reviews. And on YouTube, more especially, you don't really have a whole lot to search for. And you don't have a whole lot of variety. So I just wanted to give that to you, so you'd be happy with what you found. Oh, this guy seems really cool. He seems to know a lot about Descendants. He knows what's up. So I'm going to take a chance on him and subscribe to his YouTube channel and be a part of his incredible journey. This is not my journey. This is our journey, and this is our channel. So on this YouTube channel, what you want discussed happens. The videos are created off of your inspirations and what you want discussed. So even if it's not Descendants, it'll be Phineas and Ferb. It'll be Tangled, because believe it or not, I do have Phineas and Ferb and Tangled fans. And yes, I have read your emails and your comments about me wanting to have constructed a roller coaster from years past. It's just a lot of work goes into that. Got to find a contractor. Got to dig up my lawn. You girls got to give me some time, because all this stuff has to, when you have a dream, you got to put it into action, like the Victorious theme song has suggested years ago. So with the Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland release window suggested for summer 2026, I am incredibly excited about it. Hi to everybody who is new here. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. For those of you who don't know a whole lot about me, I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby Rose Turner. And every day on this show I say, Ruby, where art thou? Because I want to look up at Ruby on a balcony. And I want to climb up that balcony and go in through Ruby's window and fall in love with her as a modern-day Juliet as we remake the live-action Romeo and Juliet movie. Because there's no better person I would rather want to die with. There's no better niche than either Ruby or the Descendants franchise. I say this because you guys are incredibly supportive of me. I don't know where I'd be without you. I'd probably be just some... probably wouldn't be making a whole lot of sense, and I wouldn't be no closer than I am right now of surpassing Mr. Beast or Logan Paul with 416.2 million subscribers. I'm very opinionated, and oftentimes I'm very to the point. I think that Kylie Cantrell, Dove Cameron have been treated unfairly for long enough now, and I just wanted to kind of alleviate that pressure. I say they've been treated unfairly because of all the criticism they received. While one can expect criticism being involved in the entertainment industry, they shouldn't be criticized for the tremendous effort they have brought forth. And I want to highlight that on this show. I want to talk about it for what it's worth. Because one of the most difficult things to do is produce an album independently. I've seen so many people crash and burn trying to independently. An EP is very challenging to come up with an idea for. I saw that with Meg Donnelly. I've seen that with Dove Cameron. I'm now seeing it with Kylie. But even though I'm seeing it, a tremendous work ethic is being exemplified. So does she deserve criticism for songs like Goodie Bag, Denim, and See You Tonight, which Malia Baker made a cameo on? No. I don't think so. But people choose to do that because they love to tear somebody's credibility down from as high up as it's built, so they have to rebuild it again. And because of this, people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker are refusing to Google themselves and search themselves on Google. And I think something has to be done about it. So I'm just trying to make a consistent effort to make sure there's a nice video posted on this YouTube channel filled with nothing but great reviews and revered reviews about Malia Baker and Kylie Cantrell, because I think they deserve to hear it. I mean, where does Kylie Cantrell get away with crying herself to sleep every night? Is it because her boyfriend wants her to feel that way? Is it because her record is not really performing the way, her EP is not performing the way it should be? It's not because it doesn't have a great sound. It's not because people don't love it, because they do. You know, tens of millions of people are always buying the album off Spotify and iTunes, which is fabulous. I hope you keep doing it. It's just we have all these people on YouTube who don't know the first thing about Kylie Control, doesn't even know who she is. So because they don't know who she is, they're just stating what they feel. And I think that stating what you feel has to be done more professionally than what has been being done. You know, I will admit to each and every one of you, I'm far from perfect. So I like to come on here, and I like to have a lot of fun talking about Descendants of Zombies. So I like to bring it to life. And in order for one to bring it to life for you, he not only has to critique and review Descendants of Zombies, but he has to do it in a fun way that really brings it to life. So too, that I've moved near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. Because I'm going to talk about zombies, I have to feel like I'm living my life like zombies. And zombies could come in through my window at any given moment, and a zombie apocalypse could happen. Because it really could. Why do you think I play all these zombie apocalyptic-inspired video games? It's because I want to prepare myself by playing The Last of Us, Days Gone, Dead by Daylight. I got to do that. Somebody's got to do this, so I'm doing it for each and every one of you. You know, when I saw this house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant listed by the real estate, yes, I moved into it. I was like, woo! And I've moved in here for over a year, and I've had a whole lot of fun being able to sit behind this podcast microphone for each and every one of you. I have read the reviews of Kylie Control's EP. I have seen how people have been treating Kylie Control and Ruby Rose Turner, and I'm here to say that stops now. Enough is enough. Because I think that these girls are incredibly beautiful. And I know what it's like to be 9 years old watching a show like the Power Rangers and thinking how cool it would be to be a part of the Power Rangers fighting force and drive the Megazord and blow shit up. Forgive me, but that's how I felt, because I think that everything I see on TV is real. And while people will criticize me for thinking everything I see on TV is real, I think there's nothing more fun than having the opportunity to blow shit up. I say that because why discourage the hopes and dreams of anybody who's watching this video of one finding their true love or living in a fairy tale world such as Oregon, which can see so many expansions with worlds that have yet to see their introductions and characters that have yet to be seen in Descendants and Zombies and have their stories written and even rewritten so many times over. And we've seen a lot of these characters have their stories rewritten time and time again. But the cool thing about the VKs were they've never been seen before. So as much of a story as their family history details, there's still so much more of a story for them to be told and have written, such as Bridget, the young Queen of Hearts whom we've never seen before. Evie's character, Sophia Carson, who had no backstory whatsoever. You know, and she just tried to create this character from a mold, and she really molded herself into something so spectacular. Red's character had no backstory whatsoever either. We had no explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts was as evil as what she did. All we knew was that she hated Alice's guts and never ever did invite her over to her house for a game of cards. Obviously, because her army was in her card deck. So, I just wanted to stop laughing. I just wanted to bring this to life for each and every one of you so that you would feel inspired by Descendants of Zombies and know that we will see a point where we'll get to Zombies 5 in 2027. I know 2027 seems like a long way away. You know, when I was your age, I didn't understand the concept of time, and what I mean by that is I didn't understand how long a day actually was or how many hours separated you from achieving something you wanted to set out to do. It all starts with a goal and the time that separates you from achieving that goal, which seems like forever. And the thing that you don't realize when you're young is that time always runs out. Time seems like it's going to last forever, and you're just sitting there waiting on it to happen for you. But the thing is, nothing ever just happens for you in life. You have to allocate the time to achieve a dream, because a dream is a wish that only a heart can make. Thank you so much, Cinderella. I love you dearly with all of my heart, and that's why my girlfriend has been obsessed with Cinderella for forever. I've loved Disney all of my life, for those of you who are new here, and I've never turned my back on Disney. And if there was one franchise that I've had nothing but good things to say about in the way of reviews, it was Descendants. I was just waiting on a wish, if I can quote Snow White, for Disney to come up with something that would feel as if it was going to last forever. And I know that nothing lasts forever. I just wanted to instill in your minds that we actually have a chance now of something actually lasting for forever. Because there's no devastating feeling out there than realizing that something never lasts forever. I know in all reality nothing does last forever, but can't we just hold on to a wish for just a little while longer? Why do we have to take everything away from somebody that they believe in so much? They want the Halloween costumes. They want the dolls. I have a lot of respect for people who make so many sacrifices to go to the Worlds Collide Tour when they probably couldn't even afford it. Buy the dolls. Buy all the merch. Because those hoodies look absolutely fabulous. I'd love to have some to give away on this channel, but until I get the hours of monetization, I can't go for sponsors. So that will eventually happen here on this YouTube channel too for you, because I know how much it means for each and every one of you. Just as I made a promise to you a year and a half ago that I would always be here, no matter what happened or what got in the way, to talk about Descendants of Zombies, because it's damn time that somebody showed up on YouTube that actually had something nice to say about people like Kylie Contrell and Millian Baker, and alleviated the pressure that seems to always be on their shoulders. It seems like they're never good enough in the eyes of these critics. And that's a bunch of nonsense, really, because from the first moment I saw Kylie Contrell, I knew she was special. I knew she was going to be something that was going to be talked about for a very long time. And that really gave me the honor of getting to know Kylie Contrell for who she was. It was a journey that you girls got me on from the first time somebody showed up at my door on Halloween dressed up as your favorite Descendants character, no matter if it was Mal, Evie, Red, Bridget, whoever. And you asked me to create a show on Descendants of Zombies, and years later you got your wish. And this has been the greatest wish that was ever made by anybody, and I just wanted to honor that. Because there's never been a Descendants of Zombies podcast. There's always been a Marvel podcast, which isn't really getting the greatest reviews on Disney.com. Marvel.com uploads it every day. But the thing is, you've never gotten the Descendants podcast from the Disney company, so some guy's got to do it for you. So I just woke up one morning and said, okay, I'm creating a Descendants of Zombies podcast for everybody so they can know there's an episode out every single day. Not every week, not every month, every single day. So if we have 345 days until Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, or a million days between now and Zombies 5, there'll be a guy talking about it for a million days, because that's what you deserve. Because you should never believe that there's never going to be a zombie apocalypse. Don't ever believe what the scientists are telling you and these critics are telling you on Google. Never ever believe Google, because Google lies. There is going to be a zombie apocalypse. I mean, you think about it. How many crazy people have we got out there in this world? How many crazy people do you go to school with that never ignore, that never say anything about you, never talk about your texts, always are ignoring you? They've got to be zombied out. So because they're zombied out and they're obviously suffering from dyslexia, well then they got to be zombies. So I just wanted to prepare you for the inevitable and try to make you laugh in the process. Say some funny things about Descendants of Zombies that a lot of you have been wanting to hear for a very long time, and I just wanted to give that to you guys. Because I really did believe that Meg Donnelly's portrayal of the character Addison was so beautifully done. And she inspired so many people to be courageous. More people are signing up for cheerleading now because of this character. And I'm so proud to talk about Meg Donnelly. I'm so proud that she's doing so well with her constant struggles with anxiety and panic attacks. I mean, nobody would have been able to do it as effectively as what Meg Donnelly's been able to do it. That's the amazing thing about Meg Donnelly, is that Meg Donnelly never ever quit on a dream and a wish, and inspired so many people to be stronger because of how Zombies presented itself. And I think this sci-fi musical, after Marvel tried to introduce the multiverse and upset everybody because I wanted to kick Marvel's ass because of the multiverse thing, because I couldn't make sense of how there were more than one Spider-Man, more than one Incredible Hulk. I always thought there was one definitive Hulk, one definitive Spider-Man. So while I was trying to make sense of this, here comes Zombies, the first ever sci-fi musical, and it's so cool. It's so inspirational. And more people feel, honored to be a part of it than ever before. It makes perfect sense. It fits in with the Descendants universe because of how much, magic is associated with these characters. I mean, Descendants 2 opened up with that scene with them standing in front of a cauldron casting a wicked spell on a Wordon. We didn't know what was going to happen by Descendants 2. The only thing we knew was the script got better, the music ultimately got better, and now this music in Descendants The Rise of Red is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, everything from Get Your Hands Dirty to Shuffle of Love to Life is Sweeter When You Are. Beautiful soundtrack, and I think that opening number Red really set things in motion for the opening of a franchise that was going to last forever and always in our hearts. And I just wanted to keep those hopes and dreams of each and every single person who ever said they loved Descendants of Zombies alive for an eternity. So the way this YouTube channel works is I will be back just after sunset this evening with another video for each and every one of you, and throughout the night. So I've got 2 more shows to go, and I hope you do join me for it, because I've got a lot to say where Descendants and Zombies goes, because one should never give up on a dream. One should never give up on a dream, because this is really a 5-star production that we've all wanted to be a part of from the very first moment that we saw it. I got that from how girls would go up to Sophia Carson, Dove Cameron, Kylie Contrell during these meet and greets and just simply ask, can I be a part of Descendants? I'm asking the same thing because I have a lot of creative energy, a lot of creative juice. I'm the Tim Burton, if you would, of entertainment. And I think I could bring Descendants to life in a way that nobody else has been able to bring it to life before, because there's a greater appreciation for all of these characters that still has to be looked at. And I think we can do this together, because I can create the show, but I know I can't do it without each and every one of you. I know that this show would not be at the position it's in to take over if not for each and every one of you. Without a doubt, this is the #1 Descendants and Zombies podcast on YouTube. And I'm hoping it will forever and always be that way, because, I mean, somebody's got to do it, and somebody's got to talk about Descendants and Zombies in a way that it was meant to be talked about. Why can't we all just say, you know, as the old cliche saying goes, why can't we just be friends? But why can't somebody just, if I can change it, why can't somebody just say something nice about Descendants and Zombies for once? Because I think a lot of people aren't saying enough nice things about Descendants and Zombies, and not choosing to give it the benefit of the doubt is because the music wasn't what you were feeling, because you claim to have an ear for music, but you really don't. If you have even the slightest ear for music, you'll know that this music is very catchy and awfully inspiring, so why criticize it? I remember the first few moments that music videos like The Place to Be, which was a beautiful song, and Don't Mess With Us from Zombies 4 were released, and people said, okay, something for us to criticize. Within a half hour, everybody was uploading podcasts. Holy shit, what was happening here? You know, I think that we just have to take a chance on the Zombies franchise. And what I mean by a chance is just don't criticize Freya Sky. Just don't criticize Malachi Burton. I've questioned some of Malachi Burton's choices in life, but I know he's young. What is he, 15 years old? So he's still got a long way to go. And 5 years from now, he might not be the same person. He might be sweet. He might be kind. Obviously, everybody's got a crush on him. I was kind of hoping that everybody was going to have a crush on this YouTube channel, but I know this YouTube channel perhaps has still got a long way to go. But in saying that, in over a year, over 50,000 plus views, 3,000 subscribers says a lot. I mean, there are people who have YouTube channels for years that don't get to this point. You know, even artists on YouTube don't have that many views. I think there's an artist I know, she has 300,000 views in 16 years. I've got 50,000 views in 3 months. But I know it wouldn't have happened without each and every one of you. You know, this takes a lifetime to achieve. You know, I always wanted to fall into a niche that would be incredibly supportive, would die with me, and I know Descendants of Zombies is going to die with me. If there's the final words that I say, it would have to be kindness really does go a long way in this world, and one will find their light. I know that sounds like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but one can really find their light. All you just got to have is a bit of hope and a bit of encouragement. So I just wanted to instill that in all of your minds, because I really do believe that with even how much criticism we are faced with, we still have a long way to go with these franchises, and still much more of a story to be told, and one that I'm really excited to be on this journey with because of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been the voice of Descendants and Zombies, because this happened because of you. You were wanting a voice of Descendants and Zombies to show up, and finally, yours truly has taken that honor upon his shoulders. And it is a responsibility that I really feel appreciative that you guys have bestowed upon me. And I have every reason in the world to be proud of each and every one of you for having done that, because this wouldn't have happened. I could be some guy on YouTube with no fans. I know I have critics out there, but I have 10 million girls who love this channel so much, and I just don't want to let you guys down, because I know you know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies, and God love your hearts for that. God love your hearts for having the time of your life at the Worlds Collide Tour, which is still touring up until September 16th. And I've had this summer has been a summer that I will never ever forget. Summer is almost over, but that doesn't mean summer can't happen again, and summer 2026 will be here. And by the time 2026 happens and summer happens again, we'll be counting down the hours and the minutes and the seconds, literally, to Descendants 5 Wonderland, and we'll have a lot to talk about and so much more to say where this one goes. Because so many characters have yet to see their introduction into the franchise, and dare I say, these franchises still have a long way to go, with so much left to be figured out, from the consequences of time travel, the conflict between Red and Pink. I'm looking forward to seeing Liamani Segura. We will see you in summer 2026 as this summer draws to its conclusion. It's been a heartbreaking summer for me. A lot of stuff happened to me, but I knew I had each and every one of you to help me make sense of it. And as long as I have each and every one of you to help me make sense of it, I couldn't ask for a greater blessing to be bestowed upon me. Because this niche, shout out to every podcast host out there, is just forever and always incredibly supportive of whom and what they love, and this channel is proof of that enough. I want to say thank you to everybody for always hitting my subscribe and my like buttons and always showing up to these videos. I will be back later on in the latter part of the evening to talk about Descendants and Zombies, and I hope that you will join me for that. Until then, I want you to keep kindness in your heart, and always remember and never forget that kindness really does go a long way in this world, and you can make a significant impact and a difference in somebody's life when you spread your own message of kindness. kindness. So I want to say thank you so much for just being here, always being incredibly supportive of yours truly, because you will find your light. With that having been said, bye YouTube. We will talk again in just a few hours from now. Keep kindness in your heart as I will keep you in mine, and we will talk again in just a few hours from now, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.